Oh boy, do I have an absolute banger of a game for you today. Two old school pro players playing two old school civilizations. No nonsense DE and no nonsense micro, non-DE micro, all of that good stuff. These two guys, absolute legends in the game. Big Gigs in the north of the map, in blue, playing as the Dutch. One of his mains, one of his favorite civs, and it so happens to be a non-DE civ, of course. Going up against Hazza, again, also one of his favorite civs, what he was kind of known for, playing the scary, scary Russia. No DE stuff here today. Both of these guys, insane micro. Oh, got that old school, pro kind of skill. And so they're going to both be in their element here, playing against one another. They're going to really be feeling themselves. They're going to be enjoying this. And it's a classic matchup as well. Russia v Dutch. For some reason, both these civilizations considered relatively on the low on the tier list. Yeah, but when you see these guys play them, they do not look weak at all. They do not look weak at all. So we're gonna have to see how it goes. The great thing about this as well is that this matchup is, since the end of time, people have talked about this matchup and who it's favorable for and whatnot. And it's just been one of those sort of 50-50 matchups, Dutch v Russia, since I can remember, even playing back in like 2006, 2007, this matchup has always been crazy close. And there's always been a couple of different ways, there's always been dispute about the best way of playing it, particularly if you're the Dutch player, what's the best way to play? Do you go for the town militia and really play the defensive and get the TC upgrade? Or do you kind of go cav heavy in age 2 and then age up and Reuter spam? It's always been debatable. I love this little bit of micro there by Hazza. Not sure what he was jiggling or dancing around for, but looks like he's going to have his crack shot ready to go. He does. And he's going to be picking up peasant weaponry. Peasant weaponry for 90 wood. So he'll be happy with that. And wood is very good for Russia, definitely. Especially before you build that blockhouse. So you won't have to put many villagers onto wood in transition at all. 800 food comes in. Bang, the quartermaster, very standard. But Dutch, on the other hand, picking up 50 wood as well. So, again, wood, very good for Dutch as well. He's going to get that bank nice and early. And wow, interesting. So Hazza going for a really early TP here. Does Gigs see it? Gigs does see it. And that's going to give the game away a little bit, which, you don't really want as Russia. But interesting how he's going for TP. That's definitely going to tell Gigs. I mean, that's either going to tell Gigs that he's trying to do some fast fortress play, or that he's going to want to do some stagecoach play. So that's interesting. Gigs almost aging up here. Does he have that bank down yet? Yep, the bank wagon is going down. Or the foundation, rather. Nice, 3 villagers coming in. Gigs is going to see that as well. So he sees the forward blockhouse. So Gigs scouting everything, the TP and the blockhouse, both at the perfect time. So he knows there's going to potentially be TP stagecoach play here. And 2, he knows he's being aggressive. And he's kind of placed his blockhouse in a way which is defending this TP. So yeah, definitely tells me and probably Gigs that he's gonna want to go for like the aggressive play, but also the stagecoach play. So interesting that Hazza's gone for the the kind of the right side TP, which is a lot more vulnerable compared to the left side TPs. Hey. Maybe it is what it is. There you go. Age up come in for Russia now as well with the quartermaster. So how's Gigs? So Gigs is... Lots of information has been given to Gigs. Russia don't need to really scout a lot here because they're going to hit him with the exact same every time. Flood the base with Strelets and Cossacks and then Musks. And and then yeah, and kind of go from there, and his units will do the scouting for him. But Dutch has scouted everything they need to do in such a clean way and such a timely fashion as well. So how is he going to adapt to that? And it looks like he's going for a stable start. So you know how he's talked about town militia? He does actually have it in his deck. But you know, the stable start has always very much been like a kind of a meta favorite for Dutch mains against Russia. And beautiful town building here by Dutch. You see here that market. The market takes up so much space. Any of you guys out there that are very like defensive players, the market is such a, you know, it costs 100 wood, but look how much space it takes up. Almost the same, really, as a town center. So it's got such a big hitbox, which is really good for like building like a wall of buildings, right? And you can see this is exactly what he's done here. Look at this, the market, the triple bank as well. And look how beautiful this wall is with this bank over here as well. You know, there's very few points where units can move through, and where the units do move through, they're very much walking into a really tight choke point, which is not generally what you want to happen. So really nice base building here by Guigs. It is 6.5 minutes, and Hazza hasn't made a move just yet. So Hazza going super greedy here. Interesting style by Hazza. Usually you don't want to give Dutch a lot of time here because you'll see already he's on 4 banks, 5 Hazzas, which is 5 Hazzas with going 4 banks is really, really nice. So well played. You know, Guigs is just macro is just on point here. Look at the score. Look at the score already. You know, Russia do underscore and Dutch do overscore, but still, that is insane. Hazza has gone for stagecoach, though. So Hazza has got the stagecoach in. He clearly went for 700 wood first, and then he went into 700 gold. And that was going to pay for, you know, a lot of his unit production. Followed by 5 Cossack shipment. So really greedy play here by Hazza. You know, it's coming up to the 7.5 minute mark, and finally we're seeing a response from Hazza here. But by that now, look, there's already like 10 Hazzas. Scary amount of Hazzas here. And Guigs has got, he's got 2 batches of 5, which is just, it's not easy to do. I'm telling you guys, that is not easy to do as a Dutch player. And because he's got so many Hazzas, Russia have to be really scary about how they approach this. He's sieging the market. I mean, we could have seen early Minutemen here. And really, we could see a cleanup here with early Minutemen. But Guigs has decided to slow, you know, chill out, not get the Minutemen just yet. Nice, rebuilding that market. And you saw, like I said, you saw how much time that bought. You know, Russia really couldn't do anything. They couldn't penetrate the base here without diving in and losing everything. And that's definitely what they don't want to happen. So the market gets rebuilt, which is really, really nice. Okay, he's kind of forced his hand, though. He went to kill that Explorer. Does kill the Explorer, but doesn't lose a Hazza. So really nice play again by Guigs. Really top-notch defensive play here. And now Hazza's getting into that stage where he's kind of mixing Strelets and Ruskets and Cav. And when you mix all 3 of them in like a large amount, it becomes very untenable for Dutch to deal with it in H2. The best way Dutch can deal with this is they need 3 unit types as well. Skirm, Pike, and Hazza. And very much emphasis on the Pike and Hazza. You don't want that many skirms in this matchup because all the skirms want to be doing is picking off the Ruskets. You don't want too many skirms because they'll just get destroyed and they'll just be attack moving into Cossacks and all that sort of stuff. So you really want the meat shield of the Hazzas and the Pikemen. And look at this. A scary mass now from Dutch. The scores have bounced back for Hazza. He takes down a bank and another market. So actually a really good trade there for Hazza. He doesn't really lose that much stuff here. And he gets to take a bank down for free. What was Guigs thinking? Just felt like he couldn't find the right timing or positioning here that he really wanted to and kind of had to give up that bank. You see here the skirms picking off the Ruskets. Minutemen called now as well, but Hazza's halfway home. Maybe Guigs has messed up his timing here, but the Minutemen are still going to be enough to back everything up here. The Hazzas are diving in, the Pikemen are diving in, and look how difficult this becomes for Russia. Hazzas are so tough, so tanky, such good damage output. The Cossacks get melted. The Ruskets get melted by the Skirms. And Mastrolets just isn't going to be enough here. What an insane cleanup for Guigs. Yes, Hazza took a bank down, but was it worth it?
Ik voel me nu wat sterker.
Hazza on 32 Vils. Only has 1 TP, so I guess we missed that. We missed the, looks like the Pikeman took that down. Maybe that's how the bank went down, so kind of a trade for a bank for a TP. But there's one thing to win a fight against Russia in an open land. It's another to take down his infrastructure with 2 blockhouses. Nice. Blockhouses targeting the Hazzas. That's exactly what he's doing again. Look, double targeting the Hazzas because he knows he's got Strelets on the way, so smart play there. 5 Cossacks diving in, but yeah, they're not going to be able to do too much. So 35 villagers definitely is going to want to get that TP back. Like I said, probably not the right move to go for that TP line as opposed to his safer TP line. And could have built his kind of blockhouse around here, you know, which would have been a better positioning for him and easier to defend this TP line rather than up here where, you know, these blockhouses don't really defend this TP line. His Explorer's obviously down, it is. So deciding to build a TP with 2 villagers, which will take a long time to build. Oh, maybe not that long, I guess, with 2, 40, 50 odd seconds, but maybe about a minute, but 38 vils, so nearing that 40 vils mark. Nice, shipping in 700 food now, so you know, very much a Russia type of game plan is, you know, lots of eco resource shipments. Double stable now coming from Guigs. Guigs has aged up. And because of that age up, Russia definitely want to be diving in. But he just, after that huge cleanup by Guigs, Russia just doesn't have enough stuff to kind of do anything. There's no counterplay available to him. And his 3K score down. And that classic 9 Reuter card, such a good shipment. 9 Reuter. Followed by the double stable production of Reuter as well. And Reuter is such a good unit against Russia. It counters 2 of the 3 units that Russia will make here. So the Ruskets, I mean, Reuters are a soft counter versus them, but the Cossacks as well. So Reuters is just a very good unit to kind of make against Russia. So he's gonna be feeling happy like that. And then when you start mixing in Hazzas, especially veteran Hazzas as well, you just counter every unit that Russia can make in age 2. So Russia needs to do something here. Maybe age up himself. But like, what does he make? Cavalry archers, maybe? Falconets? 5K score difference. 5 more Cossacks, though. But what Russia can do is they can, you know, they're very much the Zerg unit, the Zerg civilization in Age of Empires 3, so very much quantity over quality. So they can just flood their opponent with just more stuff. Whoa, and something went flying over there. Action replay on that. So Guigs looking really, really good right now. He lost that bank, you know, a fair few minutes ago now and hasn't replaced it, but 3 banks is still going to be absolutely fine. He's still on 31 villagers. Russia on 41. With the double TP now, though, as well. And so 3 banks, but plus double TP. So the ecos are very, very close between these 2 right now. The economies are very, very close. The problem is the tempo is very much in favor for Guigs here. And he has aged up, so very nice play there. Did age up and is starting to mass Strelette Cavalry Archer, it looks like. Which, you know, is a pretty safe bet. Veteran Strelettes, yeah. Veteran Strelettes coming in. Nice, going to be taking on some pikemen there. These pikemen, really nice play by Guigs here. Those pikemen were literally there to act as a siren, basically acting as an outpost against any kind of raiding units there. And they did their job perfectly. Yes, they went down. They weren't there to kill large masses of cavalry that were raiding. They just came in there to act as a siren against for the villagers. So the villagers you saw there, they just ran away as soon as they saw that. So really nice play by Guigs there, utilizing what little amount of pikemen he had and put them to good use. Because that free pikeman wouldn't have been useful in this big mass, but they were very, very effective there protecting these villagers. So really nice play there by Guigs. And like you say, then it is denied those 9 Cossacks, and now there's Reuters over there to defend them as well. So really, really just, you know, that top level play. You know, understanding how to effectively use every type of, you know, unit and resource available to them. Both the TPs go down, though. So Guigs, you know, not diving in here, you know, took down that infrastructure, which was 3 military buildings in the middle. Nice. Hazza trying to take some map control here. Needs this herd over here. There's a nice gold mine here as well. So really, really pivotal moment for Hazza. Needs these natural resources to stay in the game. There's another big herd over here that would be defended. Gigs knows this and he's going to apply pressure. But is he going to have a big enough mass here to deal with this? Strelette's going to get caught by the flailing Hussars going in there, but there's so many cavalry archers there. Such a huge mass of anti-cav all of a sudden by Hazza. Really, really nice. And Gigs forgetting about some villagers that were diving in down here for this herd. And getting caught by this TP Foundation. Decent amount of skirms here. Maybe the Cossacks need to come around here and get on the skirms. This is what I was talking about. Quantity over quality. And Gigs just not having a big enough mass nor siege to deal with this blockhouse and the mass here by Russia. So Hazza still not out of this game just yet. Okay, the 2 Falconet card has been shipped. And that's going to be an absolutely monster against these skirmishers. And with such huge amount of cavalry archer mass here, along with a decent meat shield as well with the Cossacks, that, you know, cavalry can act as anti-cavalry, you know, because they just... They trade well, obviously, versus cavalry because they're cavalry themselves. So they don't counter each other, but they act as anti-cavalry often in the sense of they're just kind of a good meat shield. So it's difficult for other cavalry to get around them as well. So from that perspective, you know, they act as a really nice kind of anti-cavalry type unit. If that's all you've got, then that's your anti-cavalry. But Gigs with the Uno reverse and the 4 whammy Falconets. The artillery getting built. Didn't even see it. I've been looking on Hazza for such a long time here. 53 Vils. Let's switch over to Gigs and look at this. 34 Vils still. Oh, no. He's got up to 4 banks now. Huge raid, though, here for Hazza. Cossacks do get their veterancy tech now. And yes, he's killing villagers and killing infrastructure, taking the TP down. but he loses infrastructure himself here and potential villagers. So perfect counterplay here by Guigs. He says, you raid my villagers, I raid your villagers, buddy. And I really like the way he ran his villagers there, that he knew these villagers were dead regardless, so he runs them upwards towards, you know, away from his other villagers, which were down here. And so they act as kind of a villager pool there as well. And look at the positioning Hazza just gave himself, all because he ran his villagers to the north. Absolutely insane. However, is it going to be enough? There's 4 falconets here. Wow, 2 falconets, taking down 2 falconets. Considering it's 4 versus 2, that's a fantastic trade for Hazza. Now he's just putting a load of units into melee. Oh, but Bosniaks are on the way, though. That could be huge. And look at the scores, so close now. That's what I love about these Dutch versus Russia games. They're very often so messy like this. And Hazza actually taking the favorable trade here. And still with a half-decent amount of cav archers to deal with the Bosniaks. Is he going to stand here and just lose the cav archers, but try and kill as many Bosniaks as possible? Yes, he does. And look at that. All the Bosniaks, I think, are going to die here. And even with the Bosniaks, Hazza still winning this fight. The 4 falconets and the Bosniaks, all because those 4 villagers ran in such... Like, it's so difficult to explain how, like, insane that villager micro was. So because those 4 villagers ran in a position which, one, saved his other villagers, so the cavalry couldn't just, you know, dive in against those villagers as well, but the villagers ran north towards his mass, which forced Guigs to kind of cluster around the villagers and make sure he kills the villagers, because the villagers were running towards the falconets as well. And Guigs doesn't want those villagers to punch down the falconets. All while Hazza was using that to his advantage to bring all of his military units into a really, really good position for him. Wow, what an insane game so far. Look at the scores as well, really, really close. And again, Hazza really trying to dominate the map over here. There's another gold mine. There's lots of herds to be had here. 33 vills for Guigs and 55 for Hazza. More falconets, though, and now the falconets. It's Guigs' turn to be in the favorable position because they are right behind the House of Habsburg here, just really giving him, and this tree line, giving him insane protection against anything trying to dive in against those falconets. So the only really realistic way of dealing with this is lots of cav or culverins now, and I don't think Hazza has an artillery foundry. Opronix would be nice here as well. They do have an anti-artillery bonus as well. But Hazza, he maintained the position over here, but he couldn't maintain it over here. So Guigs wins this round, and he gets access to the natural resources over here. Although there's not actually a lot left of it. And I tell you what, Hazza did a really good job with this herd and herding it downwards. A town center going down for Guigs. Interesting. So what's Hazza's game plan going to be here now? A culverin is in queue. I couldn't agree more. It's just a very safe way of dealing with these falconets. He manages to get sneaking 2, which is perfect, because 2 kills a falconet in 1 hit each. 56 vills, 55 vills. So both of these guys struggling to keep their villager count at a healthy limit now. Nice, 1 falconet goes down, but the falconets are going to be alive long enough to get a few volleys off. And my God, are they melting the strelets. Oh, God, triple and quadruple kills every time. But there's still going to be enough stuff here for Hazza to repel the army of Guigs. cavalry archers with 385 HP. Now Strelec combat coming in as well. That's 20% hit points and actions damage. All action damage for Strelec, which is pretty damn nice. Hazza is feeling brave. He's going in for it. He's trying to put down a load of blockhouses. He says, you got a TC there. I'll put down blockhouses then. Villager pool. Culverin's in the frail as well. We got Hazza's coming in clutch though at a time when there's very little cavalry archers left. And now look, his Cossacks are going to have to try and act as his anti-cav, but there's Reuters here. And did Hazza, it was looking like Hazza could have just wormed his way back into this game so many times. But did he just over-egg this fight and his confidence? Yes, he did. And oh my goodness me. This whole fight was just a battle of resources. Who could take control of the map? Who could hold on to the natural resources? There's literally one herd left on the entire map. It's not a very big herd either. And Guigs managed to hold on to it, as did with the mines. And Hazza knew that he just couldn't hold on to that fight. He had to put down Mills now, and he just didn't have any food income. He couldn't make any other units. And Guigs just managing to do enough there to hold on to the map. What a fantastic game. And look at this, just constant raiding on both sides. Look, you got to that kind of 19-minute mark, and both just couldn't keep up their villager count any higher than sort of 55 and 36. Fantastic game. What a fantastic game. And look at the resources gathered. Hazza actually gathering more resources for a large portion of the game. Only Hazza's Russia. Only Hazza's Russia. Wow. Fantastic game between two old school pros. Damn. No DE nonsense this game. Only good old fashioned Age of Empires 3, baby. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I will catch you in the next game. Peace.